Okay, today is the vlog for March 26th, and I don't have anything really today. Um, I can tell you that my metric on whether or not a game is really good is if I spend all day aching to come home and play it, and like checking my phone for information about that game all throughout the day whenever I'm on a break, which is something that I've been doing today with Elite Dangerous. So the problem is I want to be able to do a little bit more than I can with the starting ship that I have. My friends are recommending that I save up for something called the Cobra Mark III. Cobra Mark III is a do everything ship. It's a very cheap ship in the grand scheme of things that allows you for a lot of different roles. You can actually use it to carry passengers. It makes a fine cargo hauler. It makes a fine ship for exploration. Um, all of these things. The problem is the price. So yesterday I made around 100,000 credits total. I spent most of that on upgrading the thing that allows me to jump from one star system to another so that I could do it faster. And that may have actually not been the wisest choice I could have made because the actual like jump point usually tends to take very little time. What does take time is stopping to refuel, um, because you normally have to find a station that's capable of refueling you, fly to that, and the process of coming in, landing, refueling, taking off again, and flying on your merry way. That's what slows down these journeys across space. The bigger ships that have bigger fuel reserves are able to do way bigger distances, but the actual individual jump distance doesn't increase that much. Whereas I thought the important thing was increasing the jump distance, which would mean increasing the amount of distance I got for the fuel. Doesn't quite work that way. If I jump 6 light years, I use a little bit of fuel. If I jump 13 light years, I use considerably more fuel. So I'm not actually doing myself any favors by just going for a ship with the maximum jump range. I want something with a bigger fuel capacity. And that's the tricky part. I have trouble telling which things have better capacity for what. And everybody swears by the Cobra Mark III. Everybody says it's a fantastic ship, and you can do everything in the game with the Cobra Mark III because of the way it's laid out. And some people are like, well, why should I ever use anything but the Cobra Mark III then? Well, it's cooler to have a bigger, cooler ship that can do more things and be better at the things that it can do, I think. I also like, visual customization. And the right now, the Sidewinder I'm in is just a flying spade. It's a wedge. It looks like a very wide doorstop. The Cobra just looks like the Sidewinder with magnify set to times, 75% more, whatever. This is what somebody else said. But it really does seem to just be a case of it's about 200% larger than the Sidewinder, but looks exactly the same. In fact, I took a look at the aftermarket kit you can buy for real world money to sort of change the appearance of the ship, and all of the options are basically the same sorts of options you'd see on the Sidewinder I already own. I guess I should take a moment to say that the customization of the player's avatar, whether that's a character, a spaceship, an animal, or anything in between, is always really important to me. A game that I can change the way I look in and see that change regularly, that will keep me playing longer than, necessarily a lot of really good levels. Now, there are some games with absolutely no customization that I really love. Donkey Kong Country Returns comes to mind. That's a fantastic platforming game. And like most platforming games, you don't change the way you look very often. Hilariously, the new Mario Odyssey game adds a ton of character customization options for Mario. You can buy a whole bunch of different outfits. You go to different places, collect the outfits, wear the outfits that you want whenever you want, and they have individual effects in game. Like if you go to the cold world, nation, whatever it is, you'll be freezing whenever you're idle unless you put on clothing from that area that keeps you warm, which is pretty clever, all things considered. But yeah, that's what's going to keep me playing this game. Eventually, I'm going to start doing missions that pay out more, and the increment between, like, the amount of time it takes me to get to a point where I can shorten the amount of time it takes me to get to the next point. Eventually, that should become an exponential growth thing. And hopefully at that point, I'll just start making a lot of money and have more of it than I know exactly what to do with. And I can start to sort of experiment with some of the other like forms of earning money and having fun in the game. What I really sort of want to do right now is get good at exploring, which involves getting some very specific kinds of equipment for your ship. And hopefully at some point I'll be able to put my landing gear down on planets and deploy a little thing called a SRV, Surface Roving Vehicle, I want to say is what it stands for. It's just a little buggy, and you get to roll around. It even has jump jets, so you can. Sounds like a lot of fun. Anyway, got past 5 minutes, so in here I didn't think I was going to have anything to talk about today. I know recently I was talking a whole bunch about Transformers, and this is how I am. I get caught up in one of my passions, and I'll talk about for a while. I talked about Monster Hunter World at first, and then I got into Transformers for a couple of weeks, and I was talking about that quite often. Now I'm in Elite Dangerous, and I'm really enjoying that, so I'll probably keep doing that for a while. And then something else will come along. I'm sure, given that I've got to fill a year's worth of time on this, and I've only done 1 month so far, you're going to hear me talk about Skyrim, dinosaurs, science fiction in general, some anime, more video games, Transformers, and Gundam, which is my other secret love. And not so secret, really. I have over 100, 200 model kits of it. And Gunpla is my real thing. And there's a new show coming out pretty soon for it. So that will probably be something I'm going to talk about. Anyway, I'll save that for another time. Until then, this has been Eric Spornitz, and tomorrow will be better.